Welcome to the Electrified Mind podcast. I'm your host, Philip Isaac. The interview that you're going to be hearing today is part of our Vulnerability and Authenticity series. Some of the guests that have agreed to be part of this series have shared their stories in the past. Some of them have written books about their stories. Others are sharing their stories for the first time. This series is intended to give us courage. If other people can be vulnerable, let that show us that it's okay to be us. Yeah, there's going to be some people that judge us. Yeah, there's going to be some people that reject us. Yeah, there's going to be some people that exit our tribe. And so what? We can't escape being who we are. And that's what this series is intended to do. To encourage, to inspire, to motivate, to empower everyone involved in this series, whether you're listening or whether you're a guest, to just be you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the ElectrifiedMind.com podcast, your direct access to the top life coaches, inspirational and motivational leaders of our world. Be prepared to eradicate your doubts, fears, and toxic energy as we electrify your mind for success at ElectrifiedMind.com. On today's show, we have the founder and CEO of Uplifting Minds Enterprise, a very positive, empowering, inspiring individual. If anybody's following him, they know what I'm saying is true. He's on the show today not to talk all the glitz and glamour of the motivation, inspirational world, but he's on the show today to share his story with us, as much of his story about his life, his ups and his downs, as he'd like to share. So without further ado, I'm privileged to introduce as a guest on our show today, Lemar Wilson. Lemar, welcome to the show, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And thank you for being courageous enough and brave enough. I know you're this motivational guy, but it's very important that we show people that we're real and that we're not always positive. We have struggles too, and that we've just learned how to overcome them. We have to fight. And so I'd like to open the floor for you to take us back to your earliest memory and share your story with us, sir. Oh,
yeah. And that's definitely, I think that's important that we're not unicorns. We're not, we overcome a lot of things, and it starts with that. The one thing, not the one thing, but the thing that always recycles in my mind. I grew up in a 3-bedroom with 7 people, where my mom shared the room with my sisters. Okay. And, I slept on crates, like my mattress, and there was crates. There was no box spring. There was no, metal box. There was no frame. It was 6 crates, 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, 2 in the back, and I slept on it. I used to come home, from school, and kids would laugh because I grew up in a household with people that smoke weed, that sold drugs. My father overdosed from drugs. Like my father, I remember as a kid, now I was no more than, I didn't even hit my teenage years. And I remember coming home one day and I saw my father on the bench. And this is real touching because this is what made me realize one part of my adult life. So young, I knew where I wanted to be as an adult. I saw my father with a needle outside on the bench while there's people, a needle in his arm. And I was like, Dad, can I get $1? He was so high. He didn't even know who I was. And I walked home crying, and people just watched me. I could hear people screaming, "What happened? What's wrong?" Kids was, laughing, and I was crying. And I'll never forget that. I got upstairs. My mom thought I got into a fight, and I didn't have enough courage to tell her what I saw until I got older. And just looking at the lifestyle, sleeping in the room, and my brothers are smoking, and my clothes smell like weed, cigarettes. And I'm this kid that's, would just go sleep, rather sleep in a closet, so I don't have to smell the weed. I don't have to smell the cigarettes. I don't have to trip over liquor or step in ashes from cigarettes or weed. And as I got older, I started to distance myself from my neighborhood because that's what everybody was doing. But one day I came home, I was playing basketball. I never got in trouble with the law. I never had a ticket. I never got stopped. I never had none of that. And I came home, I did my homework. I woke up. This had to be about 6 o'clock in the morning. I had guns pressed in my head. Now, in my head, that to the point where I could feel the round part of the gun. And all I heard was, get on the floor, get on the floor. And my house got raided. And because my brothers were selling drugs. And I didn't do nothing. To this day, I don't smoke and I don't drink. I didn't do nothing. But I got locked up for my brother's actions. And I sat there and I got questioned, but I didn't do nothing. No, I went down for something I did not do. And I know there's a lot of kids that has the same story. And it took me a long time to just keep talking to myself about this. Why, God, why are you giving me, why am I in this household? Why do I have to have these brothers? Why is my family like this? Everybody else got different families. Like, no one has to walk to school and smell like weed. People laugh at you. Oh, you got a cigarette? No, I don't smoke. Well, you smell like you do. Oh, you sell weed or you smoke it because you smell like you do? I was a teenager using Febreze to cover up the smell. I had to start putting my clothes, because my clothes started smelling like, I had to put my clothes and my sneakers and my everything in this little closet that you would normally put mops and brooms. And I had to Febreze my that little closet. I was changing my clothes in a closet in the hallway while people walk past. I had to lock the door so no one won't touch my clothes. I felt like this was my lifestyle. I was gonna always live in the projects. There's never gonna be no food. I worried that the cops would come. I didn't know where to go and what to do. Nothing. I had nothing. One day, I'm sitting in the park, minding my business. Cop pulls right in front of me and my friend, gets out the car. He says, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "What's up?" I'm still continuing to put my head, I have my music in my ear. He pulls the headphones off my head, out my ear, and he said, "Get up." He searched me. He said, "Turn around, you're getting arrested. There's weed under your leg." I don't even smoke. Again, it goes back to, why is this happening to me? Why am I, God, what did I do so wrong? My father don't want me. My mom, she don't care what's going on. My brothers don't care. Like, why am I still getting hit in all angles? I'm not a criminal. Why am I being punished, God? Again, that's the second time that I went to a holding cell. I would say a holding cell. I didn't go to jail. A holding cell for something I did not do. And I sat there and sitting there hating God, hating everybody. Just let me go. Like, I don't even want to be on this earth. I was 16. 16. I don't want to deal, this is just too much for me. Like, I don't get the good. I don't get the the two parents that come home and their house smell good, or I don't get the parent that says, hey, stop smoking in front of my kid, or I don't get the brother that says, hey, man, stay in school. I don't have the male figures in my life. There's no male figure in my life besides my uncle. I mean, my uncle, very old man, God rest his soul, but he lives an hour away from us. So I don't have nobody. All I'm exposed is to drug dealers, a drug dealer house, drug dealers when you walk out the building, around the neighborhood. Why, God? Why do I have to deal with that? Like, I'm not doing it. I'm a good kid. Like, why do I have to deal with this? And it took me. It made me realize that, something, to avoid me waking up with a gun in my head, people screaming at me, avoid, smelling like weed, going to work. At this time now, I'm at work. I'm working at Macy's, and I'm Febrezing myself, putting on cologne, and fighting the fact that I don't smoke weed and all the temptations. I signed myself up for school. I need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So I would leave my house at 6 a.m. This is why it's so easy, guys. This is why it's so easy for me to get up at 6, because I have a why. Ever since I was a teenager, I have a why I get up at 6. People ask me, you need sleep. You need to get sleep. And I tell people, I had enough sleep. I have a reason why I need to get up. I would get up at 6 a.m, go to work from 8 to 5, get on the train at 5 o'clock. It had to be 5 on the dot to make that train to get to school by 5:30. From 5:30, I would make sure that I would tell them, please give me the latest class that's open. Oh, the latest one, it ends at 11. I'll take it. But that's not your major. I'll take it. The lady had to ask me, she said, you always ask for those type of classes. Why? And I had to tell her. I had to tell her that. I had to tell her why I was running away from my family as much as I can to avoid this happening again, or to avoid me waking up to police. As long as I could, if I studied my brothers would stop smoking, or they would go hang out, or they'd go to their girlfriend's house after 11 o'clock. So if I got home at 1 o'clock, I was safe. I was a teenager. This lifestyle that I was exposed to led me to not finishing high school. I left high school with 36 credits. All I needed was 4 more credits. 4 more credits. It was science and a math, and I would have got my high school diploma. But I started thinking the lifestyle that I was raised in, that's the lifestyle that I got to live, and that's the lifestyle that's going to be. I left with 36 credits. That's telling me that I see the finish line. I'm choosing to let it go. I gave it all up. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go past the finish line. And as I started to go to school and get my GED, and I'm running to school, but I'm sweating, I'm losing my breath, but son, I know I'm safe. I had to use some distraction. I had to figure out, what do I need to do to change this situation? And God said, go to school. I've been telling you that. This is what I want you to do. But you want to do what you want to do. Went to school. I got my GED. Turned around. When I wanted to I got my GED. I was like, I'm ready to go. Miss, thank you for everything. I love you. I'm about to go work at Macy's for as long as I can. Stay late. Whatever I got to do. The lady said, where are you going? I'm going home, actually. Wait, you're going to tell me that you could come into this college building and you could go to classroom B, but I see you talking to these girls, I see you talking to these guys, hanging out with them and stuff, and they go on to classroom A, which is, college side, and they know you making all these excuses that, I got to go use the bathroom, I got to do this, I got to go do that, I'll catch you. But they know that you're in this room for your GED. So if you could get to the building, and go get your GED, why can't you get to this building and go get your associates or your bachelor's? No, miss, I don't want to do that. Like, my mom didn't get her college degree. My brothers definitely don't got their degree. Like, I broke the cycle. I got my GED. I'm good. Like, no man in my family has got this far. And she said, why can't you go further? I said, ma'am, I don't want to do it. And she said, you're not going to sit in front of me and be a statistic. And when she said that word, statistic, at that time, I did not know what that meant. I said, what do you mean? And she said, the fact that you don't know what a statistic is, you need to make sure that you don't become one. Oh, okay. And she said, do this. Give me 1 semester. If you don't like it in 1 semester, I'll let you go. I tried it, and the environment changed. The people that I was around. I asked my friend, real good friend of mine. I said, let me ask you a question. Yo, do I smell like weed? You do smell like smoke, like weed and cigarettes and stuff that it's heavy. I said, really? I said, how long you knew it? He's like, yo, every time you walk past me, you can smell it. I said, so what do I need to do? I'm like, and I told him my story. He said, when you wash your clothes, put your clothes in shopping bags. Put your jeans, tie them up in shopping bags. Because all you're doing is spraying the weed with the Febreze on your clothes. And from that point on, I started doing it. And I started hanging around people. I started distancing myself. I started coming home late, but I was safe because he took me in. He took me in. And the funny thing is sometimes God will make you go through this storm to put you on a different path that you want to be on, so you can meet certain people to lead you to the place that you need to be. And he brought me in his house. His mom used to make dinner all the time. Very, very cool, very, very friendly. And we became best friends. In college. I don't know him from elementary. I don't know him from the projects. I just know him from college. And when I finished my semester, I told him the situation, and he said, man, you gotta be average. You gotta be average. Why don't you just finish up? And I said, you know what? If I could get a B, I don't know why I couldn't do it in high school, but it seems like I needed to get around the right people so I could tell people, so I could let myself know that I'm not stupid. I'm not a dummy. And I finished my associates in a year and a half. Then I turned around and did my bachelor's. And then I met my wife. When I met my wife, I knew that was the time. And I always talked about moving out the projects, moving out my mom's house. And the first night, I brought my wife to meet my mom. And she came out and she said, listen, I don't mean to be rude. I like you a lot, but I would never go back in your house. I said, why? What happened? And she said, the moment I walked in, I could smell all the smoke and cigarettes. I can't do that because I can't walk back into my mother's house. She's going to think I smoke. And from that point, I said, I got to get my own place. So when I got my own place with my wife, at the time she was my girl, I realized the atmosphere changed. I didn't smell cigarettes or weed. I didn't have to worry about the little closet that I had with sneakers and clothes and shopping bags and underwear. I didn't have to worry about none of that stuff. I had an actual closet. I actually was able to put money on the table and leave the house and come back. It's still there. Like my lifestyle changed is because I stay strong. I stay strong. I always stay strong. I always stay focused. I always told myself I'm not this guy that the neighborhood portrayed me to be. I'm not this type of person that the cops see, that older people see. I'm not that guy. I am a person that matters. I'm not a statistic. I'm not this person that you're gonna say, well, you're just like your brothers. You're gonna fail just like your brothers. You're gonna sell drugs like your brothers. You're gonna have kids you're gonna have different kids by different women. I had 3 kids by the same woman. Been married for 10 years. Because I kept the faith within myself. And the stuff that I've been through, sleeping on crates, waking up to seeing my brothers holding guns in their hands because they got beef with somebody. I kept the faith. I stayed strong, even if I had to stay to myself. All I needed was one friend. One friend. I had one friend, and he moved. He moved away. He moved to LA. One friend that believed in me. One friend that said, I don't care if you smell like weed. I know there's something great in you. You gotta make sure you do not allow your circumstances to dictate who you are and what you will be. Don't allow that stuff. Because I tell you, there was plenty of times where I wanted to sit on the bed with my brothers and smoke weed. There was plenty of times I wanted to say, I'm going to get a cup. I want something to drink. I want a cigarette. There's plenty of times I wanted to go say, hey, man, I see you buying the latest sneakers and the flashy clothes, and you got the girls and all this. Hey, man, how you do it? Oh, you sell drugs? Hey, man, hey, help me out, man. Let me get some so I can do it too. I can't sit here and tell you that those temptations didn't run through my mind. I couldn't tell you that going to work and school with the same underwear for 2-3 days straight, because we didn't have soap powder, of going out and selling drugs so I don't have to live like that. But I just always told myself, it's not over. It's not over until I say it's over. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know what? I know I'm a good person, but a good person don't live a good life. I'm not going to say, I know a good person does live a good life. I know a good-hearted person can have a good life. But I got to get through this. I just got to outlast this. I don't know how I'm going to outlast it, but I'm going to have to outlast it. And there's some things that people are going through right now. And I'm not telling you that you need to be the best, but you just got to outlast. You just got to outlast it. Because I know when I think about my childhood, think about my father sitting on that bench and he didn't even know me. And I'm telling myself, when I have kids, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to neglect my kids. I'm never going to do drugs just because I saw that. Just because I saw my father with a needle in his arm. I'm never going to allow myself to do that. I was too young to experience something like that. And for me to experience something like that at that age and speak about something that I shouldn't even be speaking about, having kids that young, sleeping on crates and telling myself, I'm never going to sleep on crates. I'm always going to make sure there's a bed, there's a roof over my head. I'm never going to smoke weed because I never want my kids to ever feel like that. Everything that I went through, and I'm just sharing you the the hurtful side of that I deal with every day when I get time to myself. And I always thank God that I got through it. Because I could tell you there's a lot of kids that I grew up with then in jail to this day for bad decisions. They have kids by multiple women that I have yet to ever see them put a smile on because of stuff they're going through. Or there's my friends that's still out there in the projects, that they were born in the projects, raised in the projects, and now they just live in the projects. If you have an opportunity, there's nobody on this earth to say you don't have a chance. And just, you got to go through some things. And the stuff that you go through, you ask yourself, why am I going through this? Why me? What? I didn't even do nothing. I didn't even ask to be on this earth. But there's something greater waiting for you. And as long as you stay focused, as long as you stay positive, you will get there. I always say to myself, what if I didn't take the GED test? What if I never walked into the GED school? What if I never had that conversation with my friend about GED? What would my life be like? I think about this all the time. Because even though I was working at Macy's and I was making a little bit of money, I still felt like that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me to escape what could happen in my life, in my household. I was scared to date girls because I knew I smelled like weed. Because I could put on much cologne and Febreze and all that. But I was on a date and the girl said, do you smoke? I said, no. You sure? I said, no, I don't smoke. It's like, you smell like weed. That's how bad it was, guys. My life was changing without me even stepping into it because of my brothers. And I'm not blaming them. I love my family. But when you deal with people outside, they don't know that you come from a household of drugs. They don't know that. They just know you. So I'm not telling you that should I Febreze my, or should I put cologne on, or, no, what I'm telling you is that believe that you are on this earth for a purpose. There is greatness in you. You can overcome this. Just like I overcome this side of my life, I can. If I could do it, high school dropout with 36 credits, if I could do this, trust me, everybody could do this. Everybody.
I just want to say thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your childhood with us. You're a testament of great things can happen if you believe they can happen. You have this company now. You're a very uplifting guy. The part that broke my heart about your story is the shame that you experienced. It seems like you grew up with an awful lot of shame. What was the defining moment that turned your life around, or was it a gradual, or was there a moment that you realized you're stepping out of that?
When I met the lady at the GED office, Miss Cheryl, Miss Cheryl, very outspoken. She didn't care what you said, what you've been through, nothing. She will always call me Monty. I said, my name is Lemar. Now your name is Monty. And me and her just had a talk, and she said her brothers were like that as well, and she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. But she said, I saw a little kid crying, and you just didn't have no one to direct you. And she said, I don't know your mother. I never forget this conversation. But I know what I'm going to tell you is what she would tell you. And she said, I want you to go get your GED. I'm not even going to charge you for it. I want you to get your GED. I want you to get your papers, and I want you to run. I never forget that conversation. Michelle, I never forget this conversation. I sat in her office for maybe 2 hours while people were sitting out there waiting to sign up. I was sitting there tearing up because I thought I had it made with Macy's and, I'm making $300 a week. And she said, you don't got your papers. You can't go nowhere if they let you go. She said, you got to get your papers. You got to get your papers. In order for you to be successful in this life, you got to have some type of education. You walked out of school. School didn't walk out on you. And that's when it clicked. It clicked. I got to make a change. This is the change that I need to make.
I'm curious to know, like, was she the start of you empowering other people? She empowered you, and was she the beginning of that for you?
She was. When I think about it, because I knew my friends. They didn't have the male figure, we'll say, to say, man, I'm gonna go get my GED too. I have friends that's to this day, at this moment, at this time, as we speak, that still don't got a GED. And she was the one that made me say, well, if you got your GED, go get your associates. I don't think I want to do that. Come on, man. It's like I want to go hang out. I'm like, come on, I got my papers. I got a job. I'm good. She's like, no, you need to get more. Okay, well, do one semester. Okay, I did the semester. I got a B average. I'm good. All right, I'm ready to quit. You're gonna quit because you got a B? Let's try one more time. Okay, summertime coming. Hey, listen, you can either sign up for extra classes or you can spend the summer hanging out. And she said, I never forget it. I'm gonna sign you up for summer classes. You're not staying in the street, because if you're in the street, you're gonna do something that you shouldn't be doing. And I ended up passing summer school, finishing the semester, and I was able to stay out of school all the way up to June to go get my associates. And from that point, that's when I realized, like, if I could do that, let me go get my bachelor's. And then if I could do that, then I could actually talk to other people that's already doing it. It started making me realize that, like, I'm not stupid. And there's some kids out there that's saying, I just finished high school. I want to take a year off so I can have some time to myself. For what? What is it? What is a year going to do? What are you doing? You're not doing nothing. Go finish. Finish strong. And that's why I do what I do, because someone believed in me. And there's somebody out there in the world that needs someone to believe in them. And that's me. I believe in you. If you're listening to this right now, I believe in you. I believe that you can do everything that you think of.
Mar, I want to thank you so much for coming into my life. You and I have been friends now for a little while. You've come on my show before, and I want to thank you for being part of this vulnerability and authenticity story. Let your story show other people that there's nothing to be ashamed of. You may have grown up being ashamed, but there's nothing to be ashamed of now. You realize now that what you went through has served a purpose. And that purpose was to get you where you are right now. And you're in a pretty good spot right now, my friend.
Yeah. I said, this is my home right here. And I don't want to extend it, but I love what we're doing. I love what you're doing. I see the growth from the first time we talked to now, and I'm just speechless.
Thank you. Lemar, where can our listeners find you online?
Instagram, I am Lemar Wilson. That's Lemar. And I'm on Twitter, same. I am Lemar Wilson. I am working on a Facebook. So many people saying, man, where's your Facebook? Where's your Facebook? I am working on a Facebook. And my email, I love the emails. I love the emails that people ask me questions. And, hey, can you put this, can you create a video off this this question? My email is booklemarwilson@gmail.com.
Booklemarwilson@gmail.com.
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm ending this series with a two-part question. The first part of this two-part question is, what is your definition of love?
Love. My definition of love is that whatever the thing that you see, person that you see, it just takes over. There's no more hearing. Like my wife, when I met her, I talked to her for 2 weeks. But when I met her, I knew right there at that moment, looking at her on the staircase as she waited for me to get off work, I wanted to marry her. I didn't want no one else in the world but her. I don't know the feeling. I don't know the reasons behind it. I just knew she was the one. And when that feeling comes, that moment, and people say, how could you get married in a month or 2 days and stuff? I don't know them, but I know me. I know that her energy, her presence, her face, her smile took over my whole body, my mind, my heart. It wasn't a crush. I wasn't infatuated by her. I finally knew what love was. And that's the same way I feel about when I get in front of a camera. And I don't have a script. I don't have pinpoints or bullet points or stuff that I want to say. I just have a love for getting in front of a camera and speaking from my heart.
I love that. And so the second part of the question deals with judgment. And it's important for me to just show people that are listening that, I think a big part of sharing our story is that we're concerned about being judged. And I don't know that that's the same for everyone, but I know it is for me and for a lot of people that I've spoken with. That's a big concern. So the second part of the question is concerning judgment. Is there anything that you could learn about me that would cause you not to love me?
No, no. I always, current situations with judgment and, with you as well. I feel like they always go back, love your enemy. Love your enemy. Always, I feel like you should never judge someone because you may think you have a better situation than this person. But the person that's on the other side of you is looking at your situation, judging you, or you're looking at that person judging. And I feel like when you judge someone, you're speaking more of stuff that you don't have, or that you're not doing, or that you're not involved, where you're blocking your own blessings. And you have to be open. And I strongly feel the more negative that you bring, like I said earlier on the podcast, the energy that you bring, that everybody stops and they listen. They listen to what you're saying, what you're doing. So if you're out here judging and saying that this, oh, I don't like this, or that person should do this, or, that I would never do that. they're listening. And the worst thing is for someone to add to it. And when you add to it, you're just filling it up more. I always feel like this, that God is holding all our blessings. He's holding it on the side to see how you handle situations, how you talk to people, how much are you judging people. And if you're not judging people, if you're living freely and you're open-minded, because someone doesn't have the latest sneakers on, I can't be their friend because they can't afford these sneakers I buy. If that's the lifestyle that you live, I promise you, you're not going to get your full blessings. We all have our bucket of blessings. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to judge this person because of their clothes or their lifestyle, you're not going to get your blessings. And I want all my blessings. I want every blessings that I'm entitled to. I'd rather sit with someone that has a hole in their sneakers so I could give them my sneakers to sit there and talk about their sneakers. Let me sit with the person that got the smelly clothes, because I was a kid with the smelly clothes. Let me sit with them. I can never, and I will never, and I want everybody, all the listeners, to understand this. Please start being open-minded. Please open up your heart to situations. Let's stop doing this.